Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Trump and what happens after he gets out, if he does, in fact, go in. And a message I got, and masks slipping in a way that I have never seen before. Because I've actually seen very similar statements in the past, but I actually thought it was like a really bad liberal talking point. I had no idea that this was a conservative one. It's something else. Okay, so here's the message. Your video on how Trump might serve his time bothered me. You were the only lefty YouTuber not calling for him to go to prison. Until recently, you were always fair even when you were criticizing him. You just need to remember who you and everybody else compared him to and what happened when that guy got out of jail. How long until he was back in power? Figured out who he's talking about? I did not see that coming. Okay, so let's go to start with you were the only lefty YouTuber not calling for him to go to prison. I don't call for anybody to go to prison. I talk about what is likely. That's what I talk about by my understanding of the laws and sentencing habits. That's what I discuss, plain and simple. I have said in the past that I don't think long sentences work, but I have never expressed my personal opinion on what I think an appropriate punishment for the activities surrounding the election is. Has never come up, and it never will. But that last part, you just need to remember who you and everybody else compared him to and what happened when that guy got out of jail. How long until he was back in power? Okay, that guy got out of jail in his mid-30s. In his mid-30s. If Trump goes in, he'll be in his 80s at least. I don't think the situations are quite the same. More importantly, once he got out of jail, he had to rebuild his movement. I don't think that that's going to happen because we're already starting to see people distance themselves from him. You already see people who never actually said that he lost the election admit that he did now, just based on what's happening. A couple of years of him not being a constant news story, people will forget about him. People will forget about him. Now, let's talk about the mask slipping here. You're obviously a conservative, okay? And you're making kind of like a comparison that he's like that guy from Germany back then. I get that. The part I don't understand is how you got me that messed up. You think that this is going to be an argument to like go easy on him? If you think he's the next Hitler, I mean, to me, you're arguing for him to get a life sentence. That's the only way I can read that, unless, of course, you're sympathetic to people from the 40s. You have me messed up. Here's the thing. If Trump goes down, if he goes to prison, if he's convicted and goes to prison and all of that stuff, he's done. There's no comeback on the horizon for that man. I don't think there is, even if he is acquitted. People know who he is now. I think for a whole lot of people in the beginning, they didn't see him for what he was. They didn't see him the way you apparently see him. And then they didn't want to admit that they got duped. He's been out of office. I do not think that those outside of the MAGA faction of the Republican Party, I don't think they're ever going to put him back in office. That seems really unlikely. Even if he wins, all of the legal battles. If he loses and then goes down for an extended period or even a short period, I don't see him coming out with the same amount of fervor. I don't think that people are going to say, oh, yeah, it's time to give him power again. It seems unlikely. But you might want to go back and read this to yourself and just kind of acknowledge you're saying that he is so much like this guy that locking him up might lead to horrible, horrible things. Or maybe you don't think they were horrible. I think they were horrible. To the average person, yeah, this isn't a thing saying let him go. This is an argument to lock him up and throw away the key if he's found guilty. I have never seen any single person make so many people show who they really are. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.